Hello YouTube, this is a quick deck video for Chaos Plants that we've been trying to build for an article on Ukaypro. That's www.ukaypro.co.uk. It's a forum for the UK Yu-Gi-Oh community, and here's the deck. First of all, we have Effect Veiler 1, Lila 1, 3 Raikos for milling and destruction, Mystic Tomato for searching out things and to add to the dark count, Sangan to search out nearly everything in this deck, Effect Veiler, Raikos, Mystic Tomato, Dandelion, all the other little weenie monsters in this deck. Carry on, we have the plants, which is Dandelion, Glow Up Bulb, Spore, 2 Lone Fire Blossoms. Then we have 2 Debris Dragon to fish out any of the monsters to make Black Rose Dragon or whatever else we need. Normally to get out Dandelion so we can abuse tokens. And then we have Card Trooper at 2 for drawing cards, big beat stick, milling cards into the graveyard. Then we have 3 Chaos Sorcerer to add to the dark contingent. And then we have a single Gauze, just in case we get field wiped or we field wipe with Black Rose Dragon and we want to lull the opponent into a false sense of security. And then on to the spells. Spells we have Staples, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, Giant Grenade, Foolish Burial, 1 for 1. 1 for 1 we have Spore, I think Veiler and Glow Up Bulb. Ideally we want to go for the Glow Up Bulb so we can do something in our hand to possibly fill the graveyard for a Chaos Sorcerer, or perhaps we have, I don't know, a Dandelion or something. So we dish that to the graveyard to special summon a Glow Up Bulb, and then we can use the effect of Glow Up Bulb later on in the duel. Then we have Mind Control, 2 Pot of Avarice, 2 MSTs, and I do have a super Charged Light Brigade somewhere, but someone's borrowed it. But that's a Charged Light Brigade. Because we're running 3 Raikos and 1 Lila, so we can search for whichever one that we need. If we're playing against a field with loads of spells and traps, then summon the Lila, try and soak up a bottomless trap hole or solemn warning, if not destroy one of their back roads. Otherwise, early game we go for a Raiko so we can start milling into the graveyard. Then we have the traps. Okay, traps we have Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, Call of the Haunted, 2 Solemn Warnings. If you don't have Solemn Warnings, then Bottomless Trap Hole is a cheap replacement. But if you do have them, Solemn Warning. Solemn Judgment, 2 Dimensional Prisons to get rid of things like Stardust or things that can't be destroyed. 2 Limit Reverse to fish out all the weenie monsters like Spore, Lone Fire, perhaps Debris Dragon, Dandelion, Sangan, Raikos, Effect Veiler if you're really desperate. And that's the deck. At the moment I've been deck testing it, and I'm not liking the 3 Chaos Sorcerers. Normally because I end up with 2 in my hand early game, and I can't get rid of them from my hand, and I can't summon them because I'm not hitting Raikos or the Lila or Card Trooper. But you could replace them, one of them, or I don't know, with Chaos. But they kind of serve the same purpose in this deck, which is to add dark monsters into the graveyard to feel more Chaos Sorcerer. They remove a monster from the field without destroying it, so Stardust isn't that much of a threat. And the only plus that Chaos has over the Chaos Sorcerer is that you get to attack with it when you remove a monster, whereas Chaos Sorcerer doesn't take up your normal summon for the turn. Anyway, some of the cards that we're going to try and take into this deck later on is Unknown Synchron. Because we're running 1-for-1 and there's already quite a few level 1 tuner monsters in there, it's not a bad choice. It's also a special summon, but you can only use the effect once per duel. It is a dark, and because we're already running 2 card trooper, I may max out on the card troopers and these and put in a machine duplication. Also, there's the fabled Cerebral, which is also a tuner, can be special summoned when it's discarded. So if we have, for example, a Branic on the field, then we have all means of discarding cards to special summon it. And it's a light monster, which also fills the graveyard for the Chaos Sorceress. Then we have Ally Genix Birdman, and at the moment all the rave is about the combinations that you can do with Reborn Tengu and Genix Ally Birdman. Basically, normal summon Tengu. If that doesn't get hit, blown up, removed from play, and your opponent allows the summon of it, then you can special summon Birdman by returning Tengu back to your hand, and then you get to special summon another one from your deck. And that's an instant Black Rose Dragon or whatever else level 7 you're running. But because we're also running a lot of level 1 monsters like Glow Up Bulb or Spore, that gives us access to level 8s, or we could go for level 9 Trishulas, but you can already do that in that deck anyway. This just kind of speeds the deck up, and it does feel the graveyard quite good here as well. But they're texts for a future feature. Lastly, we have the Synchro deck. At the moment, it is running at 1 Trishula, 1 Iron Chain Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Catastor, 2 Black Rose Dragons, 2 Formula Synchrons, Scrap Dragon, Stardust, Shooting Star, because we can make Formula Synchron and get Stardust Dragon out, and we can get Shooting Star. And because there's so many tuner monsters in there, we can mess around with the effects and try and attack loads and loads of times. Voltura Archfiend, it's a dark, it's got a good effect. Colossal Fighter and Armory Arm for the Colossal Armory Arm loop, and Branic. And the last card would be Tech Genus Hyper Librarian when we get access to it, but that won't be until July. That's when it becomes legal in Europe. But that's the deck at the moment. I've deck tested against Sabres and 6 Samurai. Against 6 Samurai, although the build wasn't that good, the deck held up pretty well. I think I won 4 or 5 games with it, out of about 6 or 7. Against Sabres, not so good, because Sabres swarm really quickly, and because we're running so many small monsters that I normally have to set in defense position, like the Vikos, Sangans, Spore, or Card Trooper, possibly Mystic Tomato. When it gets attacked by Fulham Knight, then they start getting pluses off that, which is a bit sad.